Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rise Up Market Watch. Here this evening of October 27th. Market Watch. And the market's kind of green, it's kind of red, and also, meh.
Is it there?
It was there. It was there. You didn't hear it?
No.
Oh, sad.
By the way, before I forget, we have to go back to 2 streams ago because we have to clip you. You were going into the sound and it froze, but I was still recording. It's hysterical because you're basically frozen mid, just like right there, and we restarted. We'll check it after. You're gonna like it.
I'll go take a look. Also, can you run that AI thing to keep track of all this?
Oh, I got it. Oh, we're good.
Woo,
I got it. I'm on top of it.
Lovely,
I'm a three for three now since we got a process.
Damn, man. Swish and swish. Then all of a sudden, my soundboard will just catch on fire. Oh no! It was going too well for too long. Hello, Bearded. Hello, Soph. Hello, everybody here in the chat. Hope you all are doing great. Hello, CJ. Seavish as well over on YouTube. Hello. Hopefully you guys have all had a good day and y'all have had some profitable trading, or you've been dollar cost averaging, buying some bits, because market was green, market was red. Everything's typically about down maybe 0.3%. Maybe it was down about as much as a percentage point as Bitcoin took a little bit of a breather, but we'll dive all into that in a moment. Doug, it's been a while since we spoke, man. How you been?
I've been good. What about you?
I've been good, man. Just super busy. And this week's not getting any lighter. I gotta hop to Atlanta in the morning. Gotta wake up about 4 a.m., go to Atlanta, have a lunch through a dinner, wake up in the morning, grab coffee with somebody to then immediately get back on a flight and fly back to Boston. Have 2 final days of work before I get to take 2 whole weeks of PTO.
And that's Japan?
That's Japan, baby.
I'm low-key jealous, very jealous.
Have you ever been to Japan?
I'm not. I will one day.
I'll give you the skinny on it once I'm there.
Nice.
And also, we're supposed to have Luca Nets on this Wednesday night, but he's had to reschedule. So we are going to be rescheduling Luca Nets, who's the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, to sometime in the week of November 17th, so that I can be on the show when he's here. But I asked him, I was like, Luca, what kind of Pudgy Penguin stuff should I check out in Japan? Because they've been investing so much in Asia. It's been crazy. I'm gonna see if I can get like some inside information, or at least like figure out where the community is and see if I can find like some folks who are Pudgy Penguins people in Japan. I feel like that'd be dope.
Just grab as much as you can. Just grab them all.
I'm gonna be spending most of my money on Pokemon cards. And also apparently their market to go like grab used clothes. What am I thinking of? Why can't I think of it? Not antiques. Not antiques. What's the word? Oh my God. I am bullish on Pankuto shorts. Vintage. Great like vintage markets. So I'm looking forward to checking it out because they don't have a lot of people who are like tall and big. So I'm excited to go grab a bunch of stuff. Also excited to dive into charts. So everybody, what we'll be doing is, instead of talking about my trip to Japan, we'll pull up Bitcoin, we'll pull up the Russell 2000, we'll pull up the stock market, we'll take a look at things. For folks who are on TikTok today, we're going to be doing all the charting on the big screen. So head on over to the Rise Up Morning Show on YouTube, head on over to Rums HQ, head on over to the Rise Up Morning Show on Twitter to get the big screen there to see all the charts. Otherwise, we will be speaking to it here for all of you lovely folks here as well. So, Doug, what in the markets has caught your eye in particular? Do you want to take a look at stocks first, Bitcoin?
That work? You see that? Does that work?
That does work.
Sweet. All right. First and foremost, I have to just go back to one last comment on your Pudgy Penguins in Japan. I could argue you buying or collecting those artifacts may be a better investment than trying to invest anything in crypto in general.
I mean, if you buy Pokemon cards, they outperform the S&P 500 index funds. So, you know
what else does? Lego too. Not Lego.
Oh yeah, Lego crushes. I have all my Pudgy Penguins down here. There's a few more Pudgy Penguin things I gotta go buy though. I've been buying Pudgy Penguin graded cards on eBay too. I've been having a pretty fun time with that. Spending way too much money. I gotta stop.
I need to start dabbling in that, because I'm appreciating of the brand, and the brand is growing, and I'm seeing the brand everywhere. And it just makes sense, right? It's also too, it's like crypto can do whatever it wants, right? Crypto can die for a little bit. That's still going to exist because most people don't know about the crypto, but hey, they see the penguins. Anyway,
I also need to bring this from the TikTok comment section. AI Rising says, I sold one of my houses and put the whole thing towards pudgy penguins. Someone comments, he goes, really? He goes, I'm totally serious. And honestly, I think it's probably going to work out for you. Because
it's not just crypto. It's almost like you get both worlds. You get both worlds.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's like your hedge in a way for crypto sucking, like it usually does.
Mm-hmm. So Doug, what are we looking at here? What's this chart?
So this is the DXY.
Quick pause. For those who don't know what the DXY is, this is the measurement of the value in strength of the US dollar. Typically, we like to look at this chart when getting a sense and trying to gauge the market by trying to understand, like, hey, is the dollar weak? Is the dollar strong? If the dollar is strong, it's harder for cryptocurrency to do well. If the dollar is weak, it's easier. Doesn't mean that you have to have a weak dollar for crypto to go up, but it does help.
Contacts, should remember that. Who brought this up over the weekend? Oh my gosh, I was streaming this weekend, and oh my gosh, who brought it up? I can't remember. Cosmic Crypto, shout out. Like I haven't been using the DXY for a while because it's been less correlated and less telling to me when to look to fade crypto or to buy or sell. Right? In the past, it's almost like, hey, DXY goes up, crypto goes down. For the most part, that's how it was. However, for the past 6 months, with a lot of the variables that have come into play, with policy, trade, all the things that are there, it was less, didn't give me a good feel to use as a proxy. Farcoin is better, right? Using Farcoin is better. However, just peeking back at this now, I don't like this picture. I don't want to share it, but it almost looks like the dollar has bottomed exactly where the top was of previous cycles. And I have to just be aware of it, right? So like at the moment, like I'm just being aware of that. Hey, yeah, this looks like this here, looks like this here, right? At the moment. So I have to like almost think, I'm like, hey, well, maybe we'd see something like this. If we saw something like that, it would be no bueno for risk on, in my opinion. So for the moment, for me, I'm hyper focused on looking at, well, if I zoom in here, what I want this to be. Let's see if I pull these right back out here. This is my short-term plan of where I want to be going with things.
And so for folks on TikTok, we're looking at the DXY. If you pull it up, you'll see that there's a clear double bottom forming. And each time there's been a cycle top, as Doug said, for Bitcoin and the crypto markets overall, you've seen this very similar type of double bottom on the DXY for the US dollar.
And so right now, if I zoom in, so to remember, we have rate cuts. We'll talk about the minute. Obviously, that's coming up on our rate cuts. Assumed rate cuts are coming on Wednesday when Mr. Jay Powell comes out and tells us what's going on. I'm, playing those scenarios on like, well, what do I want the market to be doing heading into it, or how usually does it react heading into a rate cut decision like this? Ideally, in my opinion, I would love to be not coming in hot, like meaning like we're not coming in like pumping out of the gate. But I think that may be what I'm feeling here. So this is my current, like just by looking at this. Remember, we talked about the double bottom before. We'll mention the bigger time frame. Like this is the bigger move that I'm thinking is going to happen at some point. However, prior to that is right now is thinking that I believe the dollar will break down further. And this is like over the next 2 weeks. So I know you can't really tell that much from the line here, but it's kind of going into November. I feel that there will be, crypto is going to be great at some point in the next 2 weeks, maybe for a period of, I don't know, let's call it 5 to 7 days, 5 to 10 days, whatever it may be. And then at that point, to me, unless the dollar breaks down here, it's probably, I'm going to be looking for a very big bull trap. Because then if this thing bounces the other way, I would look for that to move the other direction.
So I'm going to
one of my proxies, yes.
I'm going to challenge that thought. I'm going to challenge that thought by saying, what does happen to the strength of the dollar if quantitative easing is officially announced by the Fed in December?
So that's a great question.
And this of what's going to happen.
Fair. That's a fair question. And I have to go back and really understand what that looked like and how much impact that had on the price, on this price. I'm sure it has some variability in whatever direction it is and how long it takes to get into the market, how long it takes to get there. But thank you for calling that out. This is on the assumption that that is not a factor in this like guidance, because as of right now, by the way, this is just one of the things I'm using as a proxy. I'm not saying this is exactly what's happening. I just wanted to bring this up as that I'm being aware of this scenario possibly happening just because of how it looks relative to prior bull markets. That's the only reason.
Is the strength of the dollar holding strength here because there has been a resurgence in bonds?
I have no idea. I would like to give you an honest answer. I have no idea.
That would be my hypothesis. Because for those of you who don't know, if you take a look at like a 10-year treasury note, a treasury note is a bond issued by the US government. What's been happening over the past year or so, let's say, pretty much since Trump won the election, is that rates started going higher. And as the trade war kind of escalated, the rates started to go even higher as well. And that's the opposite of what the US government wants. The US government wants those rates to be low so we can restructure our debt. So this was happening because other countries wanted to put pressure on the United States as they negotiate. Now that we're getting more trade deals, you're starting to see the rates come down because foreign countries that hold US debt are likely selling less. Also at the same time, there's most likely an inclusion of countries purchasing a certain amount of US debt, therefore US treasuries, as a part of these trade deals, because we do want to see those rates come down. You may not have known that, but maybe you've noticed that mortgage rates have come down. Mortgage rates have come down because the rates on treasuries have gone down. So there's demand for bonds. This is all relevant because if there is demand for bonds, if there's demand for US debt, the strength of the dollar increases. So if you take a look at the DXY, where we're getting a double bottom here on the DXY, or the strength of the dollar, is around the same time where mortgage rates have started to become better because rates on treasuries are coming down. So that is most likely my hypothesis as to why the dollar is starting to find some stability in strength.
And that makes complete sense to me. And that would be very plausible. And I mean, even outside of that, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, but if we do get quantitative easing, which those of you who don't know, that's the Fed, the largest central bank, the central bank of the United States, saying, hey, I'm cutting rates. And also, guess what we're doing? We're also going out and we're buying mortgage-backed securities and treasuries. So they are taking money, putting it into the market by buying assets, and it's a direct injection of markets with money, which is good for risk on assets. It's good for all assets to go up. That devalues the dollar. So that is why you could see this double bottom break potentially, but we'll see. I certainly have not watched these markets at a time where we have switched from quantitative tightening into quantitative easing. So I don't really have any personal context myself.
You could say they're injecting liquidity.
Yeah,
right?
They're injecting liquidity. I do like this from the white whale. My hypothesis is that Will is going to full port into Pokemon cards. That is not your hypothesis. I have told you that personally. So
I do have one more chart to show you later on something on the same topic and a macro topic. Sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It was actually on something that you brought up when I first met you, or I saw you cover it, was a mix of a different chart, but it's a macro view. But I wanted to show you that, which is still on the same topic before we flip the next screen. Does that work?
Yep.
All right. So this is the 3 different series here. So this is the relationship essentially of these 3 different time series over the last what I got here, 3 decades. S&P 500 is sky blue. You have the federal effective funds rate, which is orange. Then you have your high yield credit spread, which is blue. And just mapping this out in the past, this was always the thought of like, oh, when there are rate cuts happening, everyone's like, oh, it's super bullish. Yes, true. However, historically, there's a period of where it's after that, it's not bullish. It's bullish out of the gate. So these last couple of times, at least looking back to the dot-com bubble, thinking about the Great Recession, when rate cuts started happening, there was a delay and there was a lag here when I looked through here of like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months before you started seeing that actual correction from a recession itself. By the way, I'm not sharing this to say I'm implying that at the end of this that there is a recession coming, though I do believe there is definitely some type of contraction at some point in the next 0 to 12 months without a doubt. It's just something I'm watching along with the dollar here. So right now, if I fast forward to, and also to the risk, your high yield index, which is like your the expectation of what your higher risk bonds are yielding, right? So that's indicating more a risk from the overall market, from a balancing act, let's call it. And every time that spike is when you start seeing the contraction of stocks. Let's skip past COVID. Now we're here. So we have rate cuts, and I put these arrows here, and they're probably hard to see. And I drew this as like, I haven't touched this chart in 6 months. I just came back and I found it. I started drawing these arrows where I thought they'd go. What's up?
Can you just move the chart a little bit, because your face is covering the current data points?
Come on, it's not important.
That's not important.
It's not important.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So the move so far, the rates have come down, but the S&P 500 has not done anything. It decides to keep going up. And I'm starting to watch this high yield credit spread almost trying to create this bottom around 2.5% to 3%. So watching this along with this while this is happening is kind of my other macro tool. I mentioned before, I'm using DXY as kind of one of those proxies for just like level setting all the chaos that happens in any given week in this space or in general, and having these kind of like my macro guides to see if scenarios do start playing out, I can then basically drill in more and make sure, trying to gauge, is that scenario happening or not, and try to invalidate that hypothesis. And that helps on individual chart reviews, especially from a risk on standpoint. I know I just said a lot, but this is I'm just trying to keep as much of the big stuff in perspective when we go through these very volatile times, which I would assume everyone can agree that's definitely, we're entering that period soon.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard for us to enter the contraction. These could be cursed words, right? I'm saying this right now, totally could be a top indicator right there. Alarm bells. This time's different. Because I feel like if the Fed is going full quantitative easing, we have midterm elections in November. Like, the powers that be are so financially incentivized to let the market run into those midterm elections to have things be as good as possible. And we're right at the beginning of more money printing, Yeah. And Yoboyski mentioned to me a while ago the 7-year cycle and showed me the stock market going all the way back to the 70s. Typically, it's every 7 years that there's a big crash. Now that Bitcoin's connected to the traditional financial market, Bitcoin's no longer in the 4-year cycle. In my opinion, it's probably closer to a 7-year cycle, which would put stocks and Bitcoin and crypto as a whole at a top at some point in 2027. It's like mid to late 2027 is when that 7-year cycle would hit. So maybe there's enough money printing to just keep the market going for an extended period of time. And we're just in like the greatest melt up in history. A melt up, by the way, is, Yoboyski says September 2028 would be the time. I feel like there'd have to be a contraction between now and September 2028, though. That feels like a crazy long amount of time. But,
hey, I want to be wrong. I'm just, it's sorry to interrupt. It's almost like a selfish, not a selfish thing. It's like, I believe that, and just, this is more on the stock side, and just that everything doesn't make sense to me from a pure, valuation. Just seeing the things, and maybe it's hard. I'm sure you see the same thing too. Like on a day-to-day B2B enterprise world of the things that are happening and not happening, the environment is not great, put it that way. Right. So it's almost that there's the balancing act of the alignment of those two, to me, doesn't have more than 12 months. That's just kind of where my head's at. It's almost like, I almost would rather, it's gonna sound horrible, most rather it happens sooner than later, because if it doesn't, and it is this greatest melt up ever, oh man, I do not want to be around when the thing tops and then does actually fall.
You might be right. Roaring 20s 2.0.
I don't want that.
When you look at the Russell 2000, which I'm sharing on my screen here, and for the folks on TikTok, head on over to the Rise Up Morning Show on YouTube, Rise Up Morning Show on Twitter. You'll be able to see this. But we have a absolute perfect V-shaped recovery here. And if you just use TA, and it feels crazy to do this, but the TA price point for a breakout here is the Russell 2000 to basically increase like 40%, which you would need a long period of time to do that, because we have a V-shaped recovery here. It has found support on the previous high right in this range, which is the Russell 2000 at $2,471, or just 2,471. It's not really dollars. That would need about a year's worth of time to play out, at least 6 months to play out, if in fact, we were going to increase that. Hang on a second. Let me Let me make it so that this shows visibility.
Numbers are just crazy. It's crazy.
The numbers are crazy. And this is the risk on environment for the stock market. So like this would be your roaring 20s 2.0. It's a 32% increase in the Russell 2000. So the risk on stocks, just imagine like what your cryptos would do if that were to happen. And if we were to look at total 3, so taking a look at the risk on environment for altcoins, it's not quite the same set. It's actually not as bullish of a setup, but it's a little bit like a cup and handle pattern, which is one of the 2 patterns that I feel like play out the least often.
Agreed.
Cup and handle patterns and head and shoulder patterns. They just don't happen.
I love taking the opposite side of that trade, by the way, every single time. I love doing that. I'd rather.
But, this would be, total 3 heading up to about a $1.43 trillion market cap if the cup and handle pattern were to play out. And again, that would take something like probably 6 months, maybe 3 months. Crypto moves much faster than stocks. But, you'd see some of your favorite altcoins do some like crazy buku, crazy numbers, in which case, hopefully you were buying now and selling then.
Dude, that top right there, by the way, double 10. Can you quickly go to total before I click real quick and just do just the screen again without the indicators? Just go to total. I want you to look at something. Is total? It's not total 3?
It's on the weekly.
It's total or total 3?
Total 3.
Can you go to total real quick? And then go to 12-hour chart. And then look at your, what was I looking at? The EMA 200 12-hour. Oh, you don't have a 12-hour.
I have the daily up for you. I've.
All right, forget it. So it's basically the period of time that is. It's fine. Oh, you just type in 12H. You type in 12H. Just type it in on the screen.
Oh, you know what?
Boom.
I've never done that before.
Boom. It drives me crazy. You know why? Because when you go look up 10-year bonds, you can't type in a 10 because it doesn't go to the search for the ticker. It goes there. So if you zoom out further, like make the screen like so you almost see a couple of years here. So are the last 2, let's say 2024 in the view. So go back just 2024 all the way to the left. Spread it out. Just the last 2 years in your pane here.
I mean, that's right here. So let me
so basically the period of time that's under, where is it? So right now where we are, like we're under the 200 EMA. That's right there, like that section. I want to be above that.
We're above it. We're above the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA.
Look back to what happened in January this past year, in February.
January and February.
Yeah, so see we were under that. Okay, oh wow. Okay, so this is good. This is good because
this is more of a bullish setup.
Yeah, 100%. Because like that was basically trading sideways. So then this is nice. Okay, because I haven't checked this in like 2-3 days, and that makes sense.
Yeah, because
awesome. I wanted to get above that.
4 days ago, we were below it or just trying to get above it.
Sooner we're above 4 trillion there in general, like to me, and even higher, that's I will get very bullish if we're above 4.1 trillion. When we get back to that big thing happened, like we still have some time, and it's also okay if we don't go back up there in the next 2 weeks. But to me, up there is when it's like, okay, let's get serious again, almost like it didn't happen, right?
Yep.
I remember that's it. So anyway.
And what I see here is, and this is the total. So this is the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency, which is sitting at $3.82 trillion. So you have like a major inflection zone here for the total market cap in August, another inflection point here at the end of August, major inflection point here, all at 4 trillion from September, the entire month of September. And then again in the very beginning of October, and then we slammed through.
I mean, that's the level. I mean, that's the level.
That's the level. $4 trillion is the magic money.
Write that down, piece of paper, kids.
Yeah, $4 trillion total market cap. If you get above that, you can start to see silliness begin in crypto across the board, including Bitcoin and also Ethereum.
That's also why too you have to work with FOMO that much, because if you think about it, it's like, so until we're over there, like I'm not saying to get FOMO once we get above there, but like we have time, because you got to remember 2 weeks ago that was some serious damage done to the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And to me, the faster we get back above, the more unrealistic markets are, and the more crime that's happening, if I'm being honest, because it just seems like you just can't recover that fast. But I guess it could, and I'm just kind of speculating here. But I think where I'm going with this is that it's okay if we go kind of choppy for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks before we kind of send up higher.
Well, actually, that's a great. I was going to bring up Ethereum because I haven't looked at Ethereum's chart in like 5 days. But let me take a look at Bitcoin, because for those of you who are unaware, Bitcoin, I mean, it's probably going to sell down to $112,355 exactly. And the reason why is if we take a look at Bitcoin here, it's this magenta line. It's pretty much the 21-day exponential moving average. And the reason why is because on the futures chart, for those of you who haven't been watching my update videos, there's a bearish gap here on the Bitcoin futures chart that was created because Bitcoin had a pump on the weekend and the futures chart opened on Sunday night. We were well above where we were on Friday. And so there's a bearish gap down to $112,355. I personally would much rather just see us go down tonight and tomorrow, fill this, and then we have so we're going to have some type of announcement between China and the United States and the trade deal on Thursday. And then I'd like for that news to come out and have it either be a delay of tariffs and say, hey, we just have a couple more things to talk about. We're going to finish this up. Or, hey, we have a trade deal and we're done. If that's the case, then, crypto goes up, stocks go up, everything up, right? But I'd like to see this just get filled in over the next couple of days. So if you have become bullish over just the past few days of price action and you see this dip opportunity to $112,355, maybe it's a buy. Maybe it's a buy for you. It's going to be a buy for me. So that's what I'm personally looking at.
I mean, selfishly, I support this. I want to manifest that where it's like, I'd rather be coming in almost like on the down heading into FOMC and to Thursday, like get it over with, and then basically set ourselves up for a much bigger move.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And this will be the first time I'm taking a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum right now is sitting at $4,118.52. Cannot forget the cents. And it's actually right at a point of resistance that if it gets above and is able to hold, you're going to see some pretty exciting things for Ethereum. Let me go to the weekly chart first. So Ethereum has been in a macro pattern that it's been trying to break out of since November 8th, 2021. And it's a massive consolidation triangle that we've been talking about for, I feel like, an entire year now. And we haven't even come close to a weekly candle close below that. If we were to fall like a rock today, that's $3,890 is where the support is. We could wick down there again. That'd be fine or whatever. But if you zoom in on the daily chart, Ethereum is about to do something pretty cool. It's currently being held below the 55-week exponential moving average and this slanting line of resistance on Ethereum's chart that started on August 24th. If we're able to get above that, turn this into support, you're going to start to see a blast off point for Ethereum. It might not be an exact blast off. It could just be a slow working upwards, but it'll be the initial spark, in my opinion, that will kick off, going back to the weekly chart here, the major macro breakout here for Ethereum. The breakout target is roughly $8,000. I wouldn't expect that to happen for probably 3 months minimum of a crazy run up for Ethereum. Minimum. It would have to be a whole quarter. I'd rather see it go up in about like 5 or 6 months if it's going to do that. But it's still absolutely holding that bullish breakout. And in the short term, some momentum is bearish. So again, if Bitcoin takes a dip, expect to see Ethereum take a dip. But Ethereum is holding up like an absolute Chad, especially when I look at these weekly candle closes. It's really, really impressive. People are not allowing Bitcoin to close weekly below essentially $4,000.
ETH.
Oh, I said Bitcoin. ETH. And that's my take on Ethereum.
Makes sense to me. I mean, the chart's silly. I'm just, it's almost, we're going to get clarity soon. I believe we will get clarity soon on kind of what the next couple of weeks will yield. One chart I do want to pull up now actually is,
and then after that, I'll pull up Pengu because we can start fielding requests, and I've gotten a few requests for Pengu.
So Solana, Solana to me, obviously one of the markets I follow the most in general, just because that's how it is. The sell-off is painful, right? However, after watching that, like just looking at this and watching the price action move the last couple of days or last couple of weeks, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not super complicated. It's identifying your key levels, but right now the only one I want to focus on is 198, which has been the level that has been giving trouble for at least each thing. Back in the 16th here was the rejection, came back down. This is on the 21st, rejection came back down, and then the last week, which this beautiful move up from the 178 all the way up here, grinding up. and now has gotten above this 198 level. This has been like the level for me. So it's like, hey, it was acting as resistance once, twice, and this time blew through it. And right now we're essentially consolidating above it. I have a note here to myself, and on my Twitter, you'll see I have a kind of, this was one of the scenarios I was playing out, is that I wanted to short Sol up here. If there was weakness, and there was initially, and then as of right now, it's holding well. So like this is not weakness to me. This is still something, I'm watching. If it falls below it quickly, I will short down here and to look to come down here to the 180, 182 level. But this going to the scenario you just talked about, well, the reason I brought this up is that I ideally would like to see Sol come down and take out these lows from which the grind up that was from the Thursday last week. All of it
192.
One is like 185, 186 to 192, and to basically to long between 180 and 182. I don't think we're gonna get that much of a pullback at this point. I'm saying in a complete shakeout with the alignment with the FOMC and with the trade deal, pending trade deal, then that to me would then be enough fuel to send it up back to where it fell off, which is at 220. Because going there from where we are right now, yeah, it's definitely possible, but I feel there's a better chance of even giving this a shot to continue to go higher. This is another scenario too, where I want to do a swing short over here, but we'll talk about that later. But I think to get up much higher, we'd want to come back first. That's just how I'm looking at it. Not saying we'll get it. As of right now, if it holds 198, I'm bullish here. But I'm just in a manifesting again a scenario that is not going into next week or Wednesday super hot with price pumping across the board.
Well, maybe you'll get a flash crash opportunity if Bitcoin goes down to that 112.355 mark to close that futures gap. I don't know if it would fall as far down as like that 198, 195 range that you're looking at there, because I'm seeing some strength here on Solana as well. If I pull up my chart real quick, this is the
by the way, this only happens if it breaks, if we lose 198. Otherwise, I'm long. I'm already long. Okay. I'm longer.
I'm longer. I'm
longer.
Even longer. Yeah. I'm so long.
Yes.
Well, like on the daily chart, like, Solana's holding the 21-day exponential moving average nicely, and that makes me think that it absolutely wants to go up to the 55 daily. I said weekly, the daily, which is sitting at, it's just under $213 right now. If they pull up some of our indicators here, let me show the short term on the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, we're about to get close into oversold territory. So I could see Solana maybe come down to 197. I could even see Solana maybe come down to 192. That would satisfy, knocking out those lows for you. And then our stochastic RSI would get into oversold territory and could bounce upwards. But right now, we're still seeing some strength. Once Solana, for me, gets above 204, 204 is the magic number to start to see a short-term trade opportunity for Solana to really kind of maybe have like a nice solid bounce. Definitely up to 213, and then potentially even try back up to $230, which would be like a real fun point where you then start to see a lot of people diving back into the market, which is when you should probably be selling to take some short-term profit.
See, that's the level, right? That's the level it's going to be for everything, for all the markets. Once you get back to that point, if you pick any altcoin and go mark the level on 10/10 on October 10th, where things just, hey, we fell off a cliff, like that's your pivot point. Whatever whatever altcoin you want to get back above that, to feel like, hey, there's more legs here left in this run for whatever market that is.
Yep. Got an interesting question here over on TikTok, which from To Think Out. Do you research the coins associated with Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and utility coins with deflation rates? If you are talking about coins associated with those major blockchains, so the altcoins built on those networks, yes, absolutely do. Typically Monday nights, though, we'll just do charting, but we can dive into a few of those. But yeah, absolutely love taking a look at altcoins, love sifting through the overwhelming pile of garbage that is 99.9% of them to find a few things that are actually solid with like good businesses and good tokenomics and adoption and an actual business that makes money. Those are very rare things to find. And I really do enjoy it. So it's a lot of fun. But also, if you do have requests, I have a list of altcoins I'm looking to review and put videos out on each. I just did one on Render earlier today, and we'll do some more, but I will be in Japan soon, so that will be delayed.
you guys have the brain processing power to do all of it. I can't do it anymore. That's why I defer to you guys, because you guys are smart. And like, hell, they're going to tell me about the deflationary aspects of tokenomics, about the markets I care about. Because like there was a time when I was like, I knew about all the NFTs, all those projects. I was following all the fundamentals and technicals. Now I'm just like, nah, just a chart guy. That's it. I got other smart people I can defer to, and I can do that. And then
One of the greatest things about being on this show with Evan and Alex and starting it was I was like, oh wait, I have some really, really smart guys who are more into the weeds of like Web3 technology than I am. I can finally take some more time to learn about macroeconomics. And that to me, the stuff was really exciting. I was like, oh, sweet, I can dive into that more. And I did. But then I got to the point where my channel, I was like, oh, I'm really like a technical analysis and macroeconomics guy. I'm not doing deep dive altcoin reviews anymore. I'm not updating people on projects, and I'm not talking to people about the tokenomics. And I was like, oh, man. I missed that. And so now I've been getting back into it with my deep dive reviews of Ondo, Render, and VeChain, all requests from the audience. So it's a lot of fun. I like it a lot.
So you have to enjoy it too, right? Because that's the most important part, right?
I do actually really enjoy it.
So that's awesome. Again, that's why I defer to you guys. It's fantastic. Outsourcing.
One other question is, do you outsourcing, delegating, exactly. Do I still follow Elliott wave theory? I was never good at Elliott wave theory, but a lot of the traders I watched used it. So I tried to get good at it, and I didn't for the longest time. So I had a much more simpler method that worked for me and made me money over the years from like, not really 2017 to 2020, but like 2021 to 2023. And then I was like, oh, let me dive back into Elliott wave again, like last year. And I started diving into it again. And it just doesn't vibe with me. I am not an Elliott wave theory guy. For those of you who don't know what Elliott wave theory is, it is a pattern that has price movement that moves in 3 waves: a small wave up, a small corrective wave 2, a long wave 3 up, a small corrective wave 4, and a final small wave 5. It can change. There are variations. And there are some people who use that and they trade, and they're phenomenal traders. I am a poo-poo Elliott wave trader. I wouldn't say that. I'm like subpar. If I see a very clear Elliott wave theory on a chart, I will take it into account. But if it is not painfully obvious, I do not, and I stick to my guns. Things I'm comfortable with.
Find your system, man. What works for you, right?
Find your system, add a few little bits to it here and there. Your system is not going to be someone else's system.
Your system may take a while for you to figure out what that is, and that's okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I started making content in the first place. Help some people learn a little bit faster than I did.
See, that makes sense. It could just be me, or I just made every single mistake during the bear market for 2 years straight, overtraded, over leveraged, overdid everything, and lost a shitload of money. And then I'm like, oh, that's how you're not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. That's don't do it that way. Like the way.
Yeah, don't do that way. That was expensive. I'll find a new way. Guys, we'll take some suggestions for coins to chart right after. I feel like this is a perfect segue. Seafish on YouTube says, can't believe no one's commenting on that awesome Arculus shirt. Earlier today was pretty exciting. We got to announce that the Rise Up Media Group is sponsored by Arculus, and Arculus is the official hardware wallet of the show. Hooray! They sent the most personalized package of merchandise I have ever had. And I mentioned to them, like, I drink an espresso every single morning. They gave me a customized Arculus espresso, little tiny baby espresso cup, and really made me thrilled. Cloud White NFT will do Pengu as well. We'll talk about hardware wallets and cold storage another time, but if any of you are looking to get a hardware wallet and you go onto Arculus, because you've decided Arculus is the hardware wallet for you, you can get 10% off. Use the promo code RUMS10, RUMS 10. I am seeing a lot of Pengus in the chart, so I will start with Pengu. I see Cardano here as well. We'll do Cardano next, and ENA. So we'll start with those 3. Now let me pull up Pudgy.
By the way, while you're pulling it up, just a glance here. Bitcoin, ETH, and I've been watching Hype a lot too lately. Like they're all going down, and Sol wants to go up. So someone's lying. Someone's lying.
I mean, the Solana ETF from Bitwise was just approved earlier today. So it could be people are diving into Solana on that news, and we'll see. Granted, I don't think Bitwise. I forget who the second biggest issuer of the Solana ETF is. The first one is unequivocally Fidelity. I think the second one might be Grayscale or it might be Bitwise. I'm not quite sure. I have to double check.
There's so many bits. So many
There
bits.
are so many bits.
Dude, just
and
type in
like,
Pengu. Go on your screen here. Type in Pengu on the screen and look at and like where we pull up the symbols for the search.
type Pengu on my
Doesn't
screen.
matter. Yeah, pull up the search. Now click on the exchange. Oh, you don't have the exchange filter there. There's exchange filters, and I could see there are so many bit insert something else exchanges.
Oh,
it is out of control.
There's
a filter, but it's hard to see that. Yeah, it's not there. Anyway,
whatever.
Yeah. So, but
yeah. But anyway, I have Pengu up on the daily time frame. Price is currently sitting at 2.13 cents. Just taking a look right now, is it was unable to get above resistance of the 12-day exponential moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. That is sitting at basically 2.2 cents on the dot. We are not in oversold territory on a stochastic RSI, but we're not in overbought territory either. Stochastic RSI is not a very good top indicator. It's a very good bottom one, though. Momentum is still bearish on the daily time frame. But what I like to see is that if we pay attention to these yellow lines that I have here on my chart, going back to October 11th to October 17th, there's a line of support there drawn. It's this line. Then on the bottom that we made on October 22nd, you can see this line here. So we can see that this bottom is trying to round over. We're trying to create a rounding bottom on Pengu. I am still bullish on Pengu and this setup if we get a higher low from 1.92 cents. If we can do that, we actually have a bottom indicator that would form on Pengu. That'd be really, really, really bullish because we'd be getting that rounding bottom indicator while Pengu has perfectly defended this really, really long and crazy bull flag pattern that it is still in, of which it still has a breakout target if it can break out of this bullishly. Do I have it marked on my chart? I don't have it marked on my chart. How dare I? Let's just say it were to break out of this on, I don't know, November 5th, let's just say. That's 6.5 cents. So there's a 6.5 cent sell target for this bull flag if it's able to properly defend it. And we could be seeing a bottom indicator forming here. So, but if Pengu breaks below 1.95 cents, I'll be like, getting a little iffy here on Pengu at this current point in time. And if I pull up the weekly chart, though, what I love to see for Pengu is, I drew that horrifically, is that we are oversold on the weekly chart stochastic RSI. So for me, it's a great time to be dollar cost averaging. And I could totally see Pengu falling to this previous high that we made on May 12th, and that is 1.7 cents. So I don't want to see that. I could see it totally happening. If it does, it would probably ruin and potentially break this bull flag pattern unless we get bought up immediately. So that's what I'm seeing for Pengu. So maybe we have a bottom. Maybe there's one more big dip here. If we can maintain this bull flag, though, we still have a sell target to 6.5 cents.
Disappointed in Pengu. That breakdown, I was disappointed. It was much bigger than a lot of the other alts, and it just is. It's going to be fine. It just like I was surprised it fell that far.
Yeah, it's I mean, at the end of the day, it is meme coin.
Yeah.
It will be more volatile than just about everything else because it's not like the Pudgy Penguins group, parent company is called Igloo. It's not like Igloo has incorporated Pengu into a very high demand driven utility function yet. They're talking about putting it into their mobile game that has 1 million downloads. They're talking about giving it utility, like turning it into an AI token. I'm really curious to talk about Luca about that. Turning it into like a gaming token, that's pretty obvious. Turning it into a few other things as well. So I know there's a lot planned for the Pengu token, but they haven't really done it yet. Until then, it will react like a meme coin.
By the way, it was funny. A lot of smaller memes, let's call them like I'm talking Mike, like under 10 million, didn't even flinch when the markets. So it's almost like they're weirdly, and these are ones that are more mature markets that have been around for at least mature, 3 months, have significant volume, but like it's almost like they're in their own little ecosystem. Still has the exact same amount of risk before or after, right? But it's just isolated in a different way than your bigger markets in some cases. Others 100% correlated.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to pull up Cardano or?
I'll pull up the Charles token. Sure.
The Charles token. I'm sorry to make you so sad, but I'm not particularly
So
thrilled.
the only reason, so just as like right now, like XLM to me is ADA, is HBAR, is SUI, is AVAC. They're all the exact same chart. Like there's no difference to me.
Yeah, there's
like,
so many similarities.
It's just, and so and no shade to ADA, but like there's ADA, here's SUI, ADA, SUI. But they're all the exact same. And I'm not comparing those two, but they're just, it just tells me that the same bigger players are the ones who have exposure in these markets, and they're going to move when they move. So it doesn't mean that this, one will be the leader out of the pack that's there, which by the way, I was testing before the meme coin thing happened with me. I was testing creating pockets of similar markets like this, where I would take 10 to 15 of the same markets with the exact same and isolate them, and then start tracking the ones that basically were spreading first, is like, it's called like the alphas that would break out. And if you could predict using that against the betas, the ones that are basically waiting there, as more of a more effective way to be probable of, or increase the probability of a trade outcome, because assuming that they're 100% correlated, just a little bit of a lag. And I didn't get a chance to finish that, so maybe one day.
Before you hop into that, I have two things to say. First of all, you were just given a cowboy hat and a mustache, and we looked like brothers. Secondly, nice. Secondly, I find it like such a slap in the face to Cardano by Grayscale for their altcoin ETF. So their altcoin ETF that got approved by the SEC, like, I don't know, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, whenever it was. It had 5 different altcoins or cryptos in it. 76% of this ETF was to Bitcoin. I think 15% or 16% was to Ethereum. And then the next was XRP, Solana. And then the 5th one was Cardano, with the least amount at 0.8% of the ETF was Cardano. And I was just like, why did you even include it?
Why?
Like, if I was Charles Hoskinson, I'd be more pissed off that you gave me less than 1% of your ETF than not including me at all in it. It just seems petty. And I was honestly a really big fan of it by Grayscale.
Like, we need to know why. Why?
Zero
phone, like, just like, hey, I'll give you some love.
Why not
here.
1? Why not 1%? Why this? Anyway, Cardano.
That's not bad then. I mean, Cardano's just this, like, so I'm a levels guy. I'm a, hey, let's look for when there's, clear downtrends. And right now, Cardano is just kind of, let's put it this way, until Cardano is up above 80 cents here again, it's just meh to me. Like, it's, and not saying it can't do fine, but like, it could absolutely just, do something like this, even come down here. Like, this to me is probable. Something like that. Probably going to dip down here below the level, which is, retest some of the lows that got taken out back on the 10th. So maybe tap in the 50s and then try to find a way to consolidate and break out of this downtrend. But it's just kind of sad. And again, this project could do fine. I wanted to also bring this up to you, so just reminded me, Will, is that like seeing a lot of markets look the same to me is almost that how I'm looking at trading. Now, say trading, not investing. Trading is, I'm focused on like 10 to 15 markets, like ones that are absolutely moving. They have their own structure, they're doing their own thing, and they have their own identity, because there's a lot of attention on those. Unfortunately, Cardano right now isn't one of those, but doesn't mean these can't be and won't be successful and having nice moves. They're just going to move in their own unison with the other markets. That makes sense. So just like there's a cohort of tokens that are kind of the, I don't call them the OGs, or the ones that are kind of just, they're just there. They're going to do fine. They're going to do fine together. I just like looking for the ones that are much stronger and have a narrative that's like a Pengu that's unique this bull run. And just to me, because of the attention span that we all don't have anymore, and there's just so many places to look, it's like, where is the isolation of the attention economy from a market standpoint? Yeah.
Before we change topics, can you give the price points on your Cardano chart?
Yeah, I think so. Until Cardano gets above 80 cents, I'm not saying I'm bearish. That's when
you start paying attention.
That's when I start paying. You don't want to be buying above 80 cents. You want to basically have your position built before then. You don't want to see Cardano lose 60 cents. If it does lose 60 cents and goes below 60, don't want it to be trading below there for more than like a day or two. You want it to come right back up and get back into that range, which seems like we're forming right now, which is between 60 and 80 cents. So below 60 for a long time, bearish. above 80 bullish. Between then and there, it's kind of a chill zone to me, and you just find time to accumulate and try to get a gauge for where it's going next.
Yep. I've had multiple people on YouTube and on TikTok also ask for Polygon. So let me. I
do that. Okay. You do that.
I haven't looked at Polygon's chart in a little bit. Nope, that's not the right market for it. I'll just pull up the Coinbase chart. That'll be fine. Okay. Let me share my screen. Polygon on the daily time frame. So Polygon to me had a worse break on its chart than most coins when we had that major liquidation Friday, that Black Friday, where the order books in Binance just didn't work. I don't know.
Weird. Weird.
And Binance is just like, we're sorry. We're so sorry. We're sorry about those $20 billion of liquidations. Here's 300 million. Wait, did you say 20 billion? But here's 300 million. And
here's the pardon, CZ.
I had more than $6,000 on there. You get 6,000. Anyway, sorry. We're sorry. Anyway, that was Binance. So Polygon on Friday 10th had a very, very big bearish break out of a channel. And that break out of the channel without a recovery back into it is why Polygon had a worse break from a technical analysis standpoint than most. Because if you looked at Pengu's chart, it broke out of the bear flag, or the bull flag, I should say, and then immediately got bought back up into it. It recovered. If you look at a lot of other altcoins, they recovered as well. If we look at Polygon, it didn't exactly do that. Now let me zoom out a little bit. We'll zoom out on the weekly time frame, and we do see what I would consider to be a double bottom here that was made. It dipped technically just below, but I would still consider this a double bottom. So we made a double bottom the week of October 6th, so that flash crash. We're still below the 12-week exponential moving average. What's nice to see is that the weekly stochastic RSI is oversold. So if you do like Polygon, it is not a bad time to be dollar cost averaging into it. And I would start to get really excited for Polygon again, or potentially excited for it again, if it were above 23 cents. If it's above the 21-week exponential moving average, it has the opportunity to turn, and let me get rid of this channel. It has the opportunity to turn what is this entire range of consolidation right here into support and start to work its way out of it. So that's what I'm looking at for Polygon. It really needs to get above 23.4 cents.
Dude, Polygon, I'm so disappointed. The ecosystems you use and work, sometimes when the charts just aren't.
Oh, dude, there's so many currencies out there where it's like they work so well, they have so much good stuff on them, and then you're just like tokens not going up.
Like ARB too. I've been using Hyperliquid. I've used ARB for all kinds of things, even for Aster, and it's so smooth. I have zero issues.
Mm-hmm. And then if you go on DeFi Llama within Arbitrum's TVL, so the total amount of money being put on chain, it's just going up and to the right because everyone's using Arbitrum to get to Hyperliquid, and people just go, well, I don't want to take my money elsewhere. I'll just play in the Arbitrum ecosystem. So Arbitrum's ecosystem is kicking off. It's doing phenomenally from an adoption standpoint in the ways that we measure adoption, but it's just like, the ARB token. Actually, let me see. Let me take a look. Let me take a look at the.
It's not even worth looking at. Last night in my memory, it's not there.
No, it hasn't changed.
It's so sad.
It's sad. This is the weekly chart, and it's
look at it's gonna come down to below 20 cents again. Who knows? It's
getting smashed. Or Arbitrum. And then for the longest time, Chainlink, I know that was requested as well to take a look at, but for the longest time, Chainlink, one of, if not arguably the most important altcoin in the space because it kept all the plumbing together. It is the reason why so many things are able to work in this space, and it has a monopoly on the Oracle scene within cryptocurrency. For those of you who don't know what Chainlink is the bridge that connects Web 2 data, Web 3 data, and allows companies and organizations to work together, right? It allows everything in this altcoin crypto space to essentially work. Essentially what it does. It's kind of important. For the longest time, its chart was just really boring. For the whole past year, everyone was just like, I love Chainlink, it's amazing, but why is nothing happening to its chart? And then, recently, I say recently, really the past few months is what I mean. We started getting more life on Chainlink's chart. And so if I pull it up here on the weekly time frame, I mean, ever since, let's see, June of 2023, we got a higher low. We got a series of higher lows again. July through August of last year, we got higher lows again from April through June of this year. And we're just building continuously over the past essentially 2 years, just a higher base and a higher base and a higher base for Chainlink. And it's been a phenomenal coin to trade. If you just focused on, hey, I'm just going to buy Chainlink when it's below the 200-day or the 200-week exponential moving average, you'd have what? 2.5x opportunities. 3 actually. You'd have 3 2.5x opportunities over the past year and a half. And if you just kept doing that strategy, you'd be in a great spot. And then today, currently, momentum on our Moxie indicator for Chainlink on the weekly is bullish. It's oversold in the stochastic RSI, so not a bad time to be buying. And there's going to be a swing upwards because Chainlink has some pretty healthy moves to the upside that take place over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. You have some really nice 1.5 month long moves to the upside for Chainlink that you could swing trade. So, you know, we're seeing good long-term health here for Link, and especially if it can get included into some ETF products and there's some real demand for it, because I do think it's a pretty attractive portfolio to someone who's an institutional investor or a large retail investor that says, hey, what are the most important cryptos? Like actually to like making this whole infrastructure work? Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink. Okay, I'll buy those 3. You know, that to me seems like a really obvious portfolio of altcoins that people would want to invest in, who like say, hey, I want exposure to the infrastructure that makes stablecoins work, that make this whole Web3 ecosystem work. Just give me those. And it's those 3.
I want it.
I want it. I want it.
Can we do a section where we do future show of like our favorite charts? Because like I'm waiting for someone to mention like any of the charts that are like, I mean, actually some people have ones that are out there that are just like screaming, pay attention to me. Well, what's next on your list there?
Someone I forgot. They just asked for Athena, and I forgot that was like
that one.
ENA.
That's one. There's one of them. Good job.
That is one.
Winner. All right, I need to get some squiggle cred here because this was one of the better ones I had in a while.
Ooh, good squiggles.
This was from September 15th. Oh, it's only like a month and a half. It's not that big. But like ENA, this pullback, beautiful. And like it's bouncing. If the longer this stays above 40 cents, like this is a time to position yourself. Even if it does this, cool. But like this, or anywhere from let's say 50 cents to 40 cents. Not financial advice, but I'd be accumulating. This looks like a very, very attractive market. And this thing, once this thing moves up here, again, another opportunity here to basically take profits, or again, assuming that does break through here, but by looks of it, it's kind of setting up that way, is last time to long your longs, and hopefully this thing just sends and then does some fun stuff. But I like this chart a lot.
Yep, and I'm just redirecting people who want to see the charts in the future on the big screen. Go to the Rise Up Morning Show on YouTube or on Twitter. Head to the Rise Up Morning Show. You'll be able to find us. Let's do a few more suggestions because I have to catch a very early flight tomorrow. So
that's right, Atlanta.
To Hotlanta. Let's look at Say. We had a few different requests for Say.
Do it? You tell me what you want to do.
You can do it. I'll bring it up. Let's do that. Say. Okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not horrible either.
What do you say?
What do you say? So this is Say on the weekly time frame, and we've printed some higher lows from where we are now as compared to June 16th and also April. So that's the, hey, that's not so bad thing. Also, at the same time, we are oversold, like very oversold on the weekly chart stochastic RSI. So if I am bullish on, say, dollar cost averaging here each week, the past, let's see, 3 weeks has been very interesting for me. Say as a network, I like Say. I think it's seeing some nice, healthy growth on its TVL, and its DeFi ecosystem is doing well. the expansion of Morpho, which is the second most popular lending protocol in the world, onto Say is very good. I would say for Say, I didn't even mean to do that. Is very good for Say. But right now, you know, prices is hurting. I would say if you can get above, oh, this is perfect. It's pretty much right where the 21-week exponential moving average is at 27 cents. The reason why I say that is because you have the high of the consolidation zone that happened on February 24th. This is your point. This is your make or break point for Say, because we failed here at the end of February. We tried to hold it on and failed all the way from June through September, and failed recently when we had the Black Friday event. And so that's your key level. That's your key level. Is Say above really that 26 to 30 cent range. Let's give it that range. So if you can do that, you'll see Say probably pop off and do nicely. It's also one of those coins that a lot of people talk about, has a good amount of mind share on social media. So if it does start doing really, really well, a lot of people will probably start talking about it.
I have to say that Say had probably the closest vibe to Solana, early Solana vibes, than any ecosystem I've like kind of participated in the last 3 years. Like when their NFTs were popping off, when it first became like way back when that chart was taken off there, it was refreshing. Let's put it that way. It didn't feel like the absolute normal hellscape that crypto is when I was there. And I have a lot of NFTs. That was another whole other conversation. But
oh my god, I have so many Solana NFTs that are worth nothing now.
By
just
the way,
just like my Ethereum NFTs.
So one thing, do you ever use Soul Incinerator?
No.
Oh, we got to talk. Because the Soul Incinerator basically cleans up your accounts, your old accounts that are there, like any old, like if someone dropped you in like an airdrop or something, some garbage that's there, they give you back Soul. I can't tell you how many wallets I have over the years, but going back and cleaning them up with it, like some really, really nice dollars for free. They just basically it's like a wash. They burn. It's a burn of, it shrinks old NFTs. Dude, if you have a lot of old NFTs, there's money there. And you still keep the NFT. It's just resizing it. They also remove token account. It's like clean. It's like a disk defrag, maybe let's call it, or a disk cleanup, something like that. That's how I look at it in your wallet.
Well, awesome. I will go and take a look at that because I have a whole bunch of old Solana NFTs that I'm just like, eh.
But you gotta be careful because you can accidentally burn them and then get rid of them. But it's not, so you have to use it once or twice to get a feel for it. But you can actually do some things you don't want to do. But it's
the only Solana NFTs that I have that I'll hold on to are my Star Atlas ones. I got some spaceships that I'm still hoping to fly around.
Hey man, I love this. I love that project. All right, what do you want to do next? Or we're good? What do you want?
I think I'm gonna call it there.
Go with me.
So everyone, I think that is going to be it for the evening. We will be live. Actually, oh no, I will not be live in the morning because I'll be on a flight to Atlanta. However, Evan and Alex will be live per usual tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the classic Rise Up morning show. I also will not be on the Wednesday morning because I'll be on another flight back from Hotlanta to Boston, where I live. But I will be back Wednesday evening for the After Dark show, which will be on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be giving updates as I can. I'm going to be, as you can imagine, very busy, but I'll be doing updates on the markets and trying to field some questions as well as I bounce around from airport to airport over the next couple of days before I then head to Japan. And then my bandwidth to do crypto videos really starts to go down because I will be drinking a lot of sake, which ironically might actually make me do more crypto videos. So we'll see what happens, everybody. But I hope you all have a. Oh, Doug, you have a final thought.
Hey, what's the preferred temperature of the sake? What do you like? Do you like a warm sake? Are you a cold sake guy? Or it depends on the mood?
I always prefer hot sake.
Always, okay.
Served in a tea kettle, and just slime them down. But dude, do you have any final thoughts? Words of wisdom? Jokes?
Don't do sake bombs. You ever do sake bombs?
Of course I have. Sake bombs are great.
There was a place in New York City. I'm talking, I don't want to date myself, but it was a place where it's just like, let's have that conversation a different day.
I love sake bombs. I have so much fun with them. Sake bomb. The thing that I get people to do that they then regret for forever are bear fights, which is a vodka bomb followed immediately by a Jaeger bomb. And it doesn't taste bad because a vodka bomb is just, Red Bull and vodka. And then a Jaeger bomb is...
Wait, that's a thing? I've never heard of that. Never heard of that.
Most people don't. I usually have to explain it to a bartender, but every now and again they go, yeah, I got you. And I go, this is a man of culture. And also, this is definitely...
All right, so this is the last thought then. What's the vodka bomb then? So it's like, is a shot of vodka, you just drop it in what, a half a Red Bull? Like,
yeah, exactly. You just have a glass of Red Bull, you drop the vodka into it, or if they don't want the glass to be chipping, so you don't drink glass.
It's just the Red Bull vodka. Just the Red Bull
I know,
vodka.
exactly. But the thing is like a vodka bomb and a Jaeger bomb are not gross, right?
No, of course not. Yeah.
And the bear fight is once they're in your stomach, because then the white bear and the brown bear are fighting. And for people who are not used to that feeling, it can put some people down pretty fast. And so my brother and I, on my birthday in our small town in Maine, we always walk in, because my birthday is December 23rd, and everyone's home for Christmas, and everyone goes, oh, bear fight, guys. And then we just challenge everybody to the bar that says, hey, if you can beat me in a bear fight, we slam it down, whoever drinks it the fastest wins. If you can beat me, I'll pay for it. And they go, everyone thinks they can. And then I drink a few people down, and then I go, I have to stop. And then my brother drinks the entire bar down. And then he's like, all in a good day's work. And I'm like, how are you not hammered right now? And he's like, because I'm built like a barrel. And I'm like, you are built like a barrel. He's got this big old chest. Anyway, that's a fun fact. Bear fights are a lot of fun.
We need to do story time some point.
Yeah,
some stories. Some stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, final thought is don't get aggressive here. Just wait for things to play out. The signs will be clear.
Yeah, and you can totally see Bitcoin fall down to like $112.3 thousand right now. Close that gap. That means altcoins will take a dip. But then we have some good events or good news coming on Thursday, most likely with the China-US trade deals, and then we'll see what happens. But that's it, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Do good things. Be good people. Make a bunch of money.